Welcome back, Whisky fans. I don't know what to tell you. I've done a lot of research, well, as much as I could be bothered with, to try and find something interesting that December the 7th stands for, some sort of observance, and I've not really found a lot. There's a lot of depressing stuff about countries invading and declaring war on each other, and I'm not going to depress you with something like that, because we've all had enough of that. So how about this? December the 7th, 1972 was the last time human beings left low Earth orbit on Apollo 17, which was the last time any human being went to the moon. December the 7th was also the day of the first time a human being ever took a fully illuminated photo of the entire Earth from space. It's the photo that's everyone's seen hundreds of times, whether you know it or not. It's the one that they've referred to as the blue marble. So I find that interesting, and hopefully you do as well. And hopefully, while we're thinking about that, and the fact that mankind and womankind have not left low Earth orbit since 1972, while we think about that, hopefully we can get a whiskey which is equally out of this world. You like what I did there? So, yeah, December the 7th. Label away. Break the seal. That little there, that's because the smell that I got from that immediately, it's got that slightly world whiskey smell to it. That kind of jelly bean, sweet, confectionery, sort of chewy, sweet, STR cask type of note, which immediately makes me think of like the earlier stuff from Mackmyra. Yeah. Let's get some in the glass. It's important to keep an open mind. Now we have the whiskey secure on the dark side of the hat. I'd say probably a little bit paler again than what did we have yesterday? Was that the Woodsman yesterday, or have I missed one? A little bit paler. Looks like a reasonably natural colour. Very, very clear. You can really see through that, can't you? You can probably tell what those labels are, almost. Anyway. Very fruity, but it's a kind of fruitiness that I'm not a huge fan of. I'm thinking STR casks. It's got that, like, red jelly sweets, like red jelly beans, cinnamon jelly beans, wood spice, red fruits, sugary, chewy, gummy sweets, spicy, oak spice, I don't know if I said that, probably. A little bit salty, salty oak, grainy, damp oak, red fruits, but artificial red fruits. Possibly like a wine, STR red wine cask, because they do that a lot, don't they, with young whiskies from like world whiskey distilleries, and in Scotland as well, to be fair. It's got a fizzy effervescence to it. So that kind of effervescent sherbet character. Bit of a sweet shop whiskey, but it does seem young. A little bit simple. Look, and apart from that sort of artificial red fruits like strawberry flavoured gummy sweets and a little bit of spicy oak, apart from that, it's not got a lot going on. So it does remind me a bit of those early batches of Mackmyra. I might be wrong here, but I think it was the Mackmyra Svensk Ek, Swedish oak. Things like that, just that jelly, sweet confectionery note. Winey, slightly savoury, red winey. It's an interesting whiskey, and I'm sure some people will like this, but I don't I don't love this style of whiskey. It's just not quite for me. But it's got some character. I think it's more palatable and more agreeable on the palate, funnily enough, than it is on the nose. The nose is a little bit disorganised and a little bit harsh. ABV on this one. Hard to say. I don't think it's 40. I don't think it's 46. But Mackmyra, everything is 46, isn't it? Trying to cheat there. Trying to guess the details from what I think it is, which is cheating in a way, I suppose. Mealy, olives, kind of cooked grains, like mash, you know, like whiskey mash to go in for a mash tun. A little bit of a bitter, slightly herbal, sort of the briny water that olives have been in. That salty, mealy character. Green olives. But really very heavy-handed oak spice and sort of jammy, confectionery, jelly bean note, which really makes me think STR, and it's really why I don't like when new distilleries slap STR casks on things to cover up youth, because it makes everything taste and smell the same, with probably the exception being that I can think of recently, the Kingsbarns Dream to Dram. I think that was partially matured in STR and that worked really well, but it was probably also quite a bit older than all the other things that people are shoving into STR casks these days. So I really hope that there is some STR in that, because it really smells like it to me. Let's find out. ABV, I'm going to go with 44, because I want to say 43, but I've got a feeling it's going to be higher. Lindores Abbey. It's our old favourite, which I haven't actually released the video for yet, but I will do very soon. My series of reviews from new Scottish and English distilleries is coming out very soon. This is Lindores Abbey, MCDXCIV. Wonderful name for a whiskey, which I think translates as, I think it's 1394, I think, which is the year that the unrelated distillery at Lindores was founded, on the site nearby to where they're distilling now. Obviously the distillery hasn't been in constant production since then, but they're kind of jumping on that heritage. It is a 46% whiskey, and it's single malt Scotch whiskey. So yeah, it's a young whiskey that's got some flavours, and it's not horrible, but it's a little bit stereotyped. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that, if you've had this one, if you've had it before and you like it, or if you've had this in the Advent calendar. What did you think of it? I think it shows that Lindores is a good distillery that needs a little bit more time. What do you think? Thanks for watching, and cheers.